Welcome to Daily Papers.
Today we're looking at a paper with a slightly dramatic title. What is left for us? Second scholarship against the degradation of research by AI.
It sounds a bit like a sci-fi movie, but it's actually a really thought-provoking look at how tools like ChatGPT are changing academic research, and the authors, Claudio Novelli and Luciano Floridi, have a pretty surprising take.
Right, you'd think that for researchers, generative AI is a dream come true. It can summarize dense articles, help structure arguments, find sources. It's the ultimate efficiency tool. But this paper argues that this very efficiency could be a huge problem.
Their central claim is that AI might be degrading research, not by producing bad work, but by eroding the process of doing research. They argue that even if an AI helps a scientist produce a better-looking final paper, the scientist behind it might actually be a worse researcher for it.
It's a bit like learning to cook. You could use a meal kit where everything is pre-chopped, pre-measured, and the sauce comes in a perfect little packet. The final dish might be delicious, but you haven't really learned how to cook. You didn't develop the skills, the intuition, what people call a chef's touch.
Exactly. And that's what the paper says is at risk here, the researcher's touch, or what they call scholarly judgment. This is that hard-to-define skill that experts have. It's the ability to know which questions are worth asking, to spot a weak argument, to feel when a theory just doesn't quite fit the data.
And you don't get that judgment from just hitting generate. You get it from the struggle, from spending hours in the library, from wrestling with a difficult text, from the frustration of a failed experiment, from drafting and redrafting an argument until it's solid.
The paper argues that when we delegate these core tasks to AI, we're essentially outsourcing our own intellectual development. The final product might look great, but the person who created it has missed the formation, the mental workout that makes them a true expert.
So what's the solution? Most people say we just need to keep a human in the loop. Let the AI do the heavy lifting, but have a human expert come in at the ends to check it, to verify the facts and polish the text.
But this paper says that's not nearly enough. They argue that being a quality checker is a completely different skill than being a creator. Supervising an AI's output doesn't build the same deep knowledge as generating the ideas yourself. It's the difference between being an editor and being an author.
It's like thinking you can become a great novelist just by editing other people's books. You might get good at spotting typos, but you won't develop your own voice or learn how to build a world from scratch. The authors say relying on supervision is like spending the capital of your knowledge without ever replenishing it.
So this is where they introduce a really interesting idea. They call the old way of doing research, the slow, patient, artisanal craft, first scholarship. This was done in a kind of innocence before AI could offer these shortcuts.
And what we need now, they say, is second scholarship. This isn't about throwing away our computers and going back to typewriters. It's about making a conscious, deliberate choice. It's about using AI, understanding what it can do, but then intentionally choosing to do the hard, formative work ourselves, because we recognize that the struggle is the point.
And to make that case, they identify 4 key things in research that simply cannot and should not be automated. The first is what they call tacit knowledge.
Tacit knowledge is all the stuff you know but can't easily write down in a rulebook. It's the gut feeling of an experienced detective, the intuition of a doctor, the way a musician just knows how a piece should be played. It's knowledge gained through years of lived experience, and an AI trained on text just can't have that.
The second is personal commitment. When a researcher publishes a paper, they're staking their reputation on it. They're answerable for their claims. An AI can't be held accountable. It doesn't have a reputation to lose or a career on the line. That personal stake is a powerful force for rigor and honesty.
The third is socialization. Knowledge isn't created in a vacuum. It's built through debate, conversation, peer review, and collaboration within a community of scholars. People learn the unspoken rules and values of their field by being immersed in it. An AI learns from a static data set. It doesn't participate in the living, breathing social world of research.
And the final one is deep reading. This is the slow, focused, critical engagement with a text that actually builds the neural pathways in our brain for complex thought. When we just ask an AI for a summary, we skip that process.
And they highlight a specific danger here called hermeneutic drift. It's a fantastic term. It's what happens when you have a conversation with an AI about a text. You ask it a question which contains your own assumptions. The AI, designed to be helpful, incorporates your framing into its answer. Then you ask another question based on that answer, and so on.
And after a few turns, the AI is basically just reflecting your own ideas back at you, dressed up as an interpretation of the text. You've drifted away from the original source without even realizing it. You're in an echo chamber with a machine.
So to go back to the title, what is left for us? The paper's answer is both challenging and kind of inspiring. What's left isn't the easy work of producing text. What's left is everything that makes that text meaningful.
What's left is the answerability, the personal commitment, the judgment built through friction and difficulty. They make a great comparison to live music. In an age where you can stream any song for free, the live concert, the unreproducible in-person experience, has become more valuable than ever.
And they suggest the same will happen in research. As AI makes producing polished text cheaper and easier, the skills that can't be automated, deep critical thinking, original insight, and the courage to stand behind your work will become the things we value most.
So what's left for us is not less, but more. It's the demand to grow into the kind of thinker that a powerful tool can assist, but never, ever replace.